All right, today we're here to talk about duck motion decoys. I have a small collection of on-the-water decoys. I have swimmers and I have other ones that just make motion on the water. We're gonna start with these two. This is the Real Decoy, Flutter Extreme, I believe it's called. Probably the best simple motion decoy on the market. It just shakes the duck back and forth and makes ripples. We've used some Mojo decoys that do that, and they were absolutely atrocious. They took on water, they started to sink, and the motion wasn't very good. The batteries didn't last very long. This has an on-off button right here. It has a battery flap and all the stuff that goes in. The goodies are all in here. It takes one D-cell battery, and there's just a pendulum that goes around in a circle, and it just makes motion. So it just wobbles like this. It's just a wobbler. I had a friend that was a duck guide for a long time. This was his favorite motion decoy to use every day in the spread. Did a great job for him, and I bought this on his recommendation. The exterior push button is top notch. This is probably the best motion decoy I own, hands down. Next one we're gonna get into is a Pulsator from Higden. Fairly simple. The way it's rigged up isn't the best for your weights, but it works. This just bobs up and down and splashes water. This is a good motion decoy. Batteries last a very long time on these. This one was subject to a recall, which they replaced the battery for free for me and the charging unit. It's rechargeable. This is a great unit. I recommend this to anybody. These two are phenomenal. And then we're going to get into swimmers. Swimmers are really what I wanted in motion decoys. I still haven't really found what I want out of them. So I hunt on streams a fair bit, and I just always wanted a motion decoy that would swim around, create motion of a duck swimming on the water. You know, they don't fly a lot where I'm hunting. There's not a lot of ducks, so a swimming duck to me is just super confidence. The first one I bought was this Real Decoy. Doesn't have the best rigging system. You can't wind all this stuff up real well. It has excellent motion. It has a propeller. It swims in a small circle, however big your line is essentially. It does a great job of that. It came with a protective cage around the propeller. It was cheap in plastic and it broke off. I have it somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now. The motion out of this is phenomenal. And that's kind of where the pros of this decoy end. Battery life, it takes 2 D-cell batteries. They will last about 4 hours tops. And after 2 hours, you see a noticeable slowdown. It does swim continuously, it never stops. They do make a couple other models. This was the lowest model. This is the Roughneck swimmer. So first off, the on button is inside the body. So you got to push it through the housing here. And to get to that, you just pull the whole thing off. And the Real Decoy company, they basically just take real decoys from other companies and turn them into motion decoys for their company. So essentially you have 2 D-cell batteries. I've contacted the manufacturer to see if I could rig up a different power supply. They did not recommend it, so I never have done it. Here's the on-off button. And this is just basically a big piece of foam that floats. So it's a pain to get this on and off, to get the shell over this. The batteries go in and out hard. They don't last very long. You can see there is some rust inside the connectors. This does get moisture in it when you're out for a long time. And of course, you're never that careful when you're in the water like that. It does produce great motion though, it really does. And then I was disappointed in the battery life and that and how difficult it was to use. I have had the line get tangled up in the prop several times because the cage on it came off. So I found the Higden swimmer on sale as actually a package with the Pulsator here, and it's a behemoth of a unit. Has the same rechargeable power supply, goes in here. This one also was subject to a recall. They replaced it for free. It's collecting spider webs, as you can see. These have a optional plastic tube that you can put in to give a little more force to the water. This one's in and this one's out, obviously. I've never been super satisfied with the motion of this. It basically just swims, it puts out water. It basically has a bilge pump that pushes water out the tube. It pushes the water for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then it stops. And every time it goes, it basically makes a J. So it'll swim, it'll go forward, and then just hook. That's the basic motion of it. And I've never been super satisfied with that motion. But other than that, it's a great decoy. The batteries on these things last forever. Again, rechargeable, and it has been replaced through recall. They recommend you recharge these every 3 months if they're not in use. They're good units. They're solid, but I'm not super satisfied with the motion out of this one. If this decoy had that motion, I think it'd be as good as it gets. Another thing I recommend is the motion decoy bag from Higden. It's a 4-slot bag, and it fits these really well. The only caveat is the Higden swimmer is so huge that it doesn't fit really well, but it fits fine. But I carry all my motion decoys in that bag. That's all that bag is for. And it fits my collection just fine because I got 4 and it has 4 slots. So that is my collection of motion decoys that I use here in Northwest Ohio to duck hunt. I definitely recommend these two. The swimmers, I still have something to be desired with these designs. I'll have to look into what I can find in the future if I truly want to commit fully to a swimmer decoy that I am in love with. But that's what I use. These are my results and what I've seen over several years of using them. I think I've had these for 2 or 3 seasons, and I've had those for 1 or 2 extra seasons, so 3 or 4. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for checking out the video.